We're at SHEDD in Chicago. We're about 30 or 40 feet up in the air above the Caribbean Reef exhibit, and we're with Michelle Sattler. Michelle, I'm really jealous because you have one of the better views of all time when it comes to looking at fish and in their habitat. What do you do here with the Caribbean?
Well, I am the head of the Caribbean Reef exhibit, and I do everything from planning what's in the exhibit to going out and collecting the animals, supervising the volunteers that go in and dive in, interact, and feed with the animals, just about A to Z here.
So let's go back. You collect the animals.
Yes.
So you're taking some fun trips.
Yes, so first I put together kind of like a Christmas list is what I call it. I have to be cognizant of who's going to get along with who and how many of what we have in here. So I make up a list, and we do have a boat that's stationed down in Florida. Sometimes I go along as a diver, sometimes I don't, and then we bring them back here, and they go through a quarantine and eventually come back up here and are added to the collection.
This is great education for someone that has a home aquarium.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you're just putting one or two fish into your existing home aquarium, you have to take stock of what you have.
Yes.
Because not everything gets along, and like you said, a lot of times even the same species doesn't get along.
Yes.
So when you feed the animals, is there a science to it? Because you want to make sure everybody's getting something.
There's not only a science to it, you know, the nutritional aspect, but also in an exhibit like this where we are doing public presentations, you don't want the diver to be rushed by every single animal we have in here, because we have a large turtle, we have large stingrays, we have sharks, we have little fish. So if everybody was to come to eat at the same time, it would be just crazy. So we have certain feed times and feed stations. For instance, the big southern stingrays, you can see them over across on the sand pit there. They're very large, they're very powerful. They have 2 times a day that they eat, and it's all the way at the bottom of the exhibit. The sharks are fed from this platform over here, not by a diver in the water, but by the tender from above the water, and they feed with tongs. So in addition to the turtle is fed from there as well. So that way they're not bothering the diver while the diver's trying to get all the food to the rest of the fish.
I noticed you have some sushi and some lettuce here.
Yes, so this is what we feed our green sea turtle, and a green sea turtle is an herbivore, so that means they eat plant matter. So Nicole's food, since she is an herbivore, she has an herbivorous gel. It's wrapped in nori just like you have when you eat sushi, wrapped in lettuce and wrapped in nori again. And then we cut it into these little bite-sized pieces so she can go through her training process where she basically touches her target, and once she does, she gets rewarded with a little piece of food.
How often is she fed?
She is fed once a day with this meal, which is her kind of main course, but throughout the day, we have a person that's stationed up on the platform there, and they'll both scrub her with the scrub brush, which she loves, and feed her the lettuce. So that kind of keeps her occupied where the diver can do the presentation and the other feedings.
It's almost like herding cats inside the water, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Before we go, how many gallons and roughly how much livestock in there?
Okay, so the gallonage is 90,000 gallons.
Wow.
And the question about how many species, it varies depending on the time of year and when we've gone out collecting and what's happening in the exhibit. Somewhere around 80 different species, but again, that fluctuates. So, but you can help me count right now if you'd like.
You know, I'll do that when we come back next time.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome.
Appreciate the time.
All right.
This is Blue Zoo TV, presented by Hikari, featuring Fluval at SHEDD. You got to get here and check this place out. Blue Zoo TV is presented by Hikari, making species-specific diets long before it was fashionable, because at Hikari, we know it matters. And featuring Fluval, discover life below water with Fluval. Blue Zoo is proudly partnered with Carib Sea, bringing science to life. Nature protected, nature perfected with Carib Sea. To email the show, go to bluezootv.com and follow us on Twitter at BlueZooTV.